That's going to be my outlook for the week starting on the 27th of Feb 2023. So this is going to be fairly short as I'm in a little bit of a rush because I've got some other things going on. So basically, start off with the levels that I'm looking at. So the first level, let's see. So I've got the range high here marked out from obviously the resistance on the 28th. Below that, I've got the Q2 base coming from the 23rd of March 2022. Below that, little 4-hour support and resistance level. You can see this is a bit clearer on the hourly time frame. This is one of the levels that it's not sort of major level, but it's one that if we move through it maybe like twice or 3 times without any issues, I'll probably end up deleting it, but it's just one that I'm sort of keeping an eye on for now. Below that, 4-hour support and resistance level, holding up the top end of our potential range 3 that I've been talking about for a few weeks. I'm still seeing this as 3 different ranges. So you got obviously range 1, sort of between here. Fuck, you can't even see the drawings because I'm using OBS. Never mind. So range 1 between the top end of the daily range and Q2 base. Range 2 being the Q2 base down to this 4-hour support resistance level here. Then potential range 3 being from this 4-hour support resistance level here down to our monthly resistance. So obviously I've got my monthly resistance marked out from the May top wick I've discussed in previous outlooks. Marking it out from here as well, but I prefer to have it marked out from here if you want to sort of understand why I've done that. Go and look at some of my other outlooks. So that's that explained. Looking to the upside, we've got the daily support and resistance that I've got marked out from May the 4th, top wick. I think potentially this level here could end up being more important, but for now, I want to keep this level marked out here. I think it's interesting the level, or the reaction that we've seen to the level that I've been mentioning in a few of my previous outlooks, because basically we broke above it here earlier in the week. We sort of formed support above it, and we were just sort of tapping into it loads. Then we finally got a close below it, formed resistance below this sort of level that I've been looking at. I broke down, then now we're starting to see resistance formed at this level again. So I think it's still going to be worth keeping an eye on, but like I say, I could end up adjusting it to this level here if this sort of proves to be more significant throughout the week. So above that, we've got the daily level that Chris was talking about a lot last year. I still see this as relevant. I think some people are sort of just seeing this as one clean candle here, so just seeing how far we can push up, but really I think all the reaction we've seen across here, tapping into it, I think it's pretty much, or pretty clearly still relevant from my sort of view. So that's from April the 14th support on the daily. Then above that, this is like yeah, that's this sort of level here on the weekly that I've sort of got through there. I'll have to have another look at that level because I can see why I was looking at it, but I'm not really sure where it's coming from. So anyway, but the most important levels are sort of up to this level here. I'll sort of let me just have a look at this now. Yeah, that's the top wick of the April 11th weekly candle. Then you've seen reaction to it all the way across here, forming support on the weekly here. Yeah, you can see it a bit clearer on the dailies. So that's the next level that I'm sort of looking at. So anyway, sort of potential scenarios going into the week. So I think it's quite interesting how we close on the weekly. Obviously, it's very nice, bullish, above our previous range here. Then on the daily, this is the sort of setup that I'd look to take on the lower time frame. So if I saw this on like the sort of 15-minute time frame, this is a setup that I take pretty much every time because we sort of pull back, form support above our previous range, and then we closed above our support creation candle here. So I think it's, as long as nothing dramatic's happened over the weekend, I think it's very likely that we'll at least test these highs here and then possibly be looking for continuation. Like I say, the next level that I'll be looking at for reaction is only sort of 30 pips, 30 to 60 pips above this wick here, so I'm not sure how far continuation would go. Obviously that would depend on sort of what time of day we're at and a load of other things and when the move actually happens. But for sort of upside to keep upside to continue, I'd like to see this level here respected. I think I was considering what would happen if price broke this level here and we still respected this level here, but even then I think if we broke this level here, the odds of price breaking down, then forming resistance on sort of lower time frames back below our daily range, and then sort of either rattling around in here or starting to break down are pretty high. So I think really I'd like to see the current daily low respected for upside. I was thinking about looking at this as a potential new range here, but I think the way that it's looking on the daily is it's sort of unlikely to be a range at the minute. But if we do start to see reaction from the top, obviously we could just see price pinging about in here again, but overall I'm more bullish than sort of bearish going into the week, obviously, because of where we are. I'd like to see this low respected, and then that's pretty much it, to be honest. Like I said, I don't like to go too deep into the scenarios because I don't think they're that important. But I think, yeah, this being the sort of key level going into the week here. So looking at my data releases going into the week, not a whole lot going on, but it should be interesting. So Monday's a fairly light day. We've got MPC speech late in the session, as I've spoke about, because we've had loads of these going on the last few weeks. So these usually last like 15 minutes to like 2.5 hours max usually. So Tuesday, another fairly light day, some Euro stuff going on. So just keep an eye on the time. But it is worth noting that before our session at 4 a.m. UK, we have another speech from the new governor of the Bank of Japan. So we had the first speech from him last, I forgot what day it was. I think it was like Thursday or something like that, or Friday. So this is what was said last time, and then this is the sort of reaction that he gave. So obviously what he's saying does hold a lot of weight when it comes to the JPY, because obviously he's a new governor and all that sort of stuff. So you can see at like midnight, so pretty much the deadest volume time there is, we saw like an 85 pip move. So with this being closer to the session, this could easily cause inconsistency leading into the session, potentially sort of mess up where Asia levels are going to be and other things like that. So worth keeping an eye on. Unsure how much damage it's going to do until obviously it comes out. So Wednesday, we've got loads of light data releases listed all the way through, so worth keeping an eye on the time, but nothing too major going on. We've got Bailey speaking at 10, so that could be interesting. Thursday, another fairly light day, some Euro stuff like late in the session, but actually through the sort of bulk of the session, we've not got a lot going on. Then Friday, similar to Wednesday, with a lot of Euro stuff just sort of scattered all the way through. Worth keeping an eye on the clock, but nothing that should be a sort of major issue. So that's what I'm looking at. Sorry, I've had to sort of rush this a little bit. Like I said, I'm a bit short on time, so yeah, that's my outlook. So cheers.